One of the hallmarks of a good lathe like this is a lot of weight, and you see that we're wrestling with these very heavy parts, the legs, the bed, the headstock. This is cast iron, this is steel for stability, and we've got massive cast iron here for the weight on the legs. That makes for a good lathe. If you're turning something that's a little bit out of balance, you want that weight in here. And you'll see that on the inside of the legs, they have an area here on the top and on the bottom so that you can add a shelf and add some sandbags and add extra weight to this if you wanted to, or just use it to store wood. Now these legs are ambidextrous, and that means that they can either be right side or left side. Each of the pieces of equipment that mount on this end will mount on the opposite end as well. And to mount these to the bed, there's a couple of different ways to do it. We can bring the bed over and raise the leg assemblies up to go through and bolt them together. There's two bolts that go through the top, right down here into the bottom on each side of the leg. Or we can flip the bed over and put the legs on top of it and roll the whole thing over. It depends on how you're equipped in your shop and what's going to make the most sense for you. You might find that blocking these up or supporting these as you're doing the assembly is a good way to do it. One way that I've done it is to set the legs apart, set the bed on top of it, and then gradually jock it into place and bolt it down. That's one method. Now, since we've chosen every single option to install, one of the pieces that we're going to put on right now are riser blocks. And that's if you're somebody that's tall. If you're 6'5", 6'6", and you're really tall, you'll want to have that lathe raised up a bit. And there are riser blocks that add an extra 3 inches of height to the lathe. And you can put one or you can put multiple of these blocks on here to raise the lathe up to a comfortable work height. We're going to go through and install those on the bottom of the legs right now and see if we can get it pretty closely matched up here to the workbench height, and that way we won't have to lift the bedway. Let's go ahead, we'll put the leg assembly up on the workbench, we'll do the installation up on the bench. I'm going to clear a few pieces out of the way and we'll put one of these pieces up, and we're going to mount the 3-inch riser blocks. Now the 3-inch riser blocks are packaged in here with a few accessories. We're going to take these off and set them to the side. A couple of brackets. Here's our hardware bag. And a couple of brackets. And just to make it easy to look at, I'm going to go through and cut through the packaging here. And these should lift right out now. Again, these are cast iron and heavy, so watch yourself. Now these are our 3-inch riser blocks, and again they're cast iron, and they've got a flat side, and you'll see they have a curved side here. The curved side is going to go toward the middle of the lathe. So you're going to have curved side to curved side. Our lathe is going to sit right on top of it. It's actually going to bolt down to the riser block. Now every riser block kit comes with a few brackets, and these brackets actually go for the riser block, but they're to allow you to use the mobility kit with the riser block. So there's a deluxe wheel system that comes with it, and we've got that option for this lathe, and we're going to cover the wheel kit installation here in just a little bit. So these brackets are for that. We're going to take these and set them to the side right now. If you're not using a mobility kit, you can use these for something else, or you can recycle the metal. Now we've brought one of the cast iron leg assemblies up, and we've got it set up on the workbench, and you can see the bottom side of it. We've got these holes, and those are tapped, and they're tapped to actually fit and accept the leveling feet. We've got what they call pads, and those can screw into the bottom if you're not using the riser kit. Now if you're using the riser blocks, we're going to bolt it on first, and then our feet are going to go onto the bottom of the lathe. Let's grab one of our 3-inch riser blocks, and again the curved side is going to go toward the open side of the leg or toward the middle of the lathe. We're going to set that up right here. Let's get our hardware bag sliced open, and we're going to bring our long bolts out. You're going to have one in each side. A lock washer on each one of these. And these are going to thread right through the bottom of the leg. I like to leave them loose at first, just so I can position them and start them. And then I'll get an Allen wrench and tighten these up. Thread these all the way in and keep the backside flush as you're tightening these down. Now Now these are the leveling pads for the lathe. You can see that they're plastic lined, so they're not going to scratch up a nice wooden floor in your shop, and they'll slide okay on concrete if you need to move it a little bit. It is kind of a small bolt, so what you want to do is back the nut off a little bit and get these threaded in as much as you can so you have as little of this exposed as possible. If you do need to adjust your lathe for an uneven floor, you can raise or lower these in and out of the bottom of the leg or out of the riser block to go through and get your lathe set perfectly level. Let's go ahead and install these right now, and those will go in the side holes. This is the easiest time to put these assemblies on. Now by putting these on right now, if I set the leg onto the floor, it's going to be a little unstable, so be cautious once you have these installed. I'll put these on by hand, tighten down the lock nut on each side. Let me do the other side now, and we're going to get onto the other leg. These will thread in by hand. You can thread them until they bottom out. Sometimes you might have a little debris in the bottom of the hole, possibly from shipping. If so, now's a good time to clean it out with a little airline. We'll snug up the lock bolt, and we're going to use a number 14 wrench to secure the leveling pad. Okay, now I've got the other one tightened up here as well. Now, some of our customers like to run these things right on the floor. I like the leveling pads because it'll help you with an uneven floor and keep your lathe from wobbling at all. But if your slab is perfectly flat, there's no reason why you couldn't put it directly on the ground. These are a nice little addition, and they'll keep the vibration down. Now I'm ready to take this one off the bench. We're going to do the same thing to this leg. Let's go ahead and get this one up on the bench. Now we're ready to install the other riser block on the other leg here. And in the meantime, we've got the extra hardware left over here. This is from the mobility kit, and we're going to install this later on. So we're going to set this all to the side right now. Also, while we're here, I got a little bit of a rush and I forgot to put the washers onto the leveling pads. I'm going to go through and put these on this series, and I'll actually go back and I'll put the other ones on the other leg as well right now. Now this should all go through and assemble very easily. If you find that you're having to force anything, stop, back off and clean out a hole. But it should go together very, very easily, just with your fingers and a quick twist of the Allen wrench. And once again, the leveling pads with the washers this time. Now one quick note on the leveling pads, there's a small flat ground onto each side of the bolt here, and that allows you to get in here with a small wrench or an adjustable wrench like this to secure these down. And if you're having to go through and adjust your lathe while the weight is on it, you'll be really happy to know that you've got these little flats that are ground there, so you can adjust these things with weight on it. So I'm going to go through and install these. We'll use a wrench to tighten this down here, and then we'll do our lock nut.